Without further delay, I share with you a game from Efim versus, I do not know how to pronounce his name, but I'm going to try Evgeny Sveshnikov, USSR Championship 1973. The first move in this game is e4, and we have a g6 from Sveshnikov. Then we have d4, c6, knight to f3, bishop to g7, bishop to d3, d5, e5. So e5 is designed to try and put a hold on the f6 square so that the knight can't come out, but also gaining a space advantage on the black king side by white. So of course black counters on the opposite side of the board with c5, and then we have c3, bishop to g4, knight b to d2, knight to c6, h3, questioning the bishop. Bishop goes back to d7, white castles, e6, rook to e1, and then we have knight g to e7. So the next move that white plays seems counterintuitive, and that's d takes c5. From, you can see the list here, but that move kind of threw me for a loop when I saw it, because I'm saying to myself, hold on, didn't you just build up this pawn chain in the middle of the board and now you break it? So queen goes to c7, queen goes to d2. The reason why white captures on c5, at least from what I can see, is clearly to give the black side a job, but a job that takes him away from something else he's supposed to be doing. So if you're paying attention to capturing a pawn, well, while you're doing that, I'll conjure up an attack on the king side, which is white's idea here. So he's trying to stop b4, right? Trying to stop this b4 push, which is why he does that. And he plays a4, stopping any further gains from giving him a backward pawn. So when you see a4, you don't want him to go, a5, you don't want him to go a4 now, because you have a backward pawn. You'll have a backward pawn here on b2. So you stop the space gaining attempts from black on the queen side. And this is to try and bring the knight to a6, right? And attack c5 with two pieces, right? So that's why that went back. So you see now, look at this. Just pay attention. White has captured the pawn, right? That's what it started with, right? White captures the pawn. Now, black, whatever black was doing, what he is doing now is working on trying to get the pawn back, which gives white, I guess, the idea or the time to attack on the king side. Watch the game. Now you'll see he adds another defender. So the bishop comes. So we have two pieces. We have the bishop here, right, defending the pawn. These arrows. Okay. We have the bishop here defending the pawn, and then we have the other knight here also defending the pawn. We have the knight defending the pawn, and we have the bishop defending the pawn, and we also have this knight and queen attacking the pawn. So it's two pieces defending and two pieces attacking. I make note of this because sometimes we slip pieces when we don't count. So if there's two attacking, you need two defending. Maybe three if you want to do something with the other piece. Okay. black castles. White plays bishop to g5 with the intention not to threaten the knight or exchange the knight. No. White wants to exchange this g7 bishop because he is going to attack on the king side's dark squares. All of these pawns are about to be eliminated. It's amazing how this attack plays out, and it almost seems like a bunch of natural moves being made. So the rook comes over to e8, knight. Look at this, the knight goes to h2. Now we know black's knight also made a retreating move, a backwards move, but this backwards move was defensive, right? Excuse me. Even though it seemed like it was it seems like it was aggressive, but it really wasn't. He's defending himself from being down material by trying to get the pawn back. So it feels like he's attacking, but he's not. I mean, if you think about it, you think, oh, the knight and the queen are attacked. No, they're defending. They're trying to get back. He's already attacked you and got the pawn. But this move is purely aggressive because he's planning to bring this to g4 after he exchanges on f6, the bishop, and just attack the dark squares and plunge forward with the pawns on the king side, right? h6, bishop to f6, knight takes c5, knight takes, queen takes. Now, check this out. Watch this queen. I paid attention to this game and I'm like, wait a minute. Did this queen literally sit here for like the rest of the game? Testament to d takes c5. I mean, when you get the pawn back, if this was conceived this way, it's nice. When you get the pawn back, you'll be in such a disarray that I will just attack your king side. And here we come, knight to g4. The king moves over. Why? Because of this. This double attack on h6 requires some defense, which black will do on his next move, right? And he brings the knight over to g8, right? Hypothetically speaking, let's just say he would have played bishop to e6, for example, right? Just let's say, right? And we have bishop takes, king takes, queen check. And when you come here, it's mate. So, cannot do that, right? When this happens, he brings the knight here to add a defender, but white is still doing good. Queen goes to f4, and he pushes g5. Queen comes back. Bishop to c6. Bishop takes bishop. Now, pay attention again. The dark squares on the king side are extremely weak. See that? He plays f5. You ask yourself, well, why doesn't he take on h6? Very simple answer. You take on h6, I just come here with check, right? You move and you're destroyed. Just trust the fact that black is not surviving this. So he plays f5, right? He plays f5 and he captures en passant. Knight captures. Rook to e5. Interesting. Again, he leaves the knight here, right? Seems odd maybe, but look at this. If you take the knight, I take your knight with check. You're doomed eventually. You can work it out. It's not difficult. So, rook goes to f8, rook to g5 check, king here, queen to g3, queen to e7. And that's just a little additional move that I added. The game was actually over here. He resigned. And when the king falls, the king does not get back up. And with that, I hope you have enjoyed this game and you are able to learn something from it in your own time, and it will improve your chess. Nice one. Later, guys.